Good morning. Today we are continuing work with those ratios. Moving on into CO26, I can identify, write, and find equivalent ratios. I talked a little about this yesterday with those ratios, finding those equivalent ratios, just like how we simplified ratios, like we simplified fractions. Finding equivalent ratios is the same thing. How you find equivalent fractions is how you find equivalent ratios. So, like it says here, we've already discussed how to write ratios and simplify ratios. Remember that ratios are simplified similar to how fractions are simplified. The same can be said for equivalent ratios. For each ratio below, we're going to write two equivalent ratios. Show your work. Showing your work tells me what you're multiplying or dividing all the numbers by. Remember, whatever you do to one number, you do to the other numbers. So, if we look at 4 to 5, what could be equivalent ratios? Give me an example, Jack. What can I multiply both the 4 and the 5 by?
2.
I can multiply them both by 2. So 4 times 2 is 8, 5 times 2 is 10. That's an equivalent ratio. Just like we use those scale factors with fractions, whatever you do to the numerator, you do to the denominator. The same thing with ratios. What's another example? Jackson?
Times 4.
I can times them by 4. 4 times 4 is 16. 5 times 4 is 20. Two equivalent ratios. Look at 10 to 12. What could be an equivalent ratio? Rhoda?
Divided by 2.
I could divide both sides by 2. 10 divided by 2 is 6. 12 divided by 2. You guys aren't paying attention. Nobody said anything. 10 divided by 2 is 5. 12 divided by 2 is the 6. It matters the order. Make sure, just like numerators and denominators, numerators say numerator, denominator says same thing with the ratios. Notice how this one used the word 2, so my answer used the word 2. There are the 3 different ways to do ratios. Make sure you just stay consistent. So if the original uses 2, your equivalent should use the word 2. If the original used the colons, your equivalents use the colons. And if your original is that fraction, your equivalents would be the fraction. We need one more because it says to write 2. Michael?
Times 3.
I can multiply by 3. 10 times 3 is 30. 12 times 3 is 36. You need to show your work. Tell me what you're multiplying or dividing by. Show me what your equivalent ratio is. Down below, we have several ratios in the circle. For each given ratio, list each ratio from the circle that is equivalent to it. So, given ratio, 3 to 1. What might be an equivalent ratio that's in the circle? Fernanda?
9 to 3.
9 to 3. If I multiply 3 by 3, I get 9. 1 times 3, I get 3. There is an equivalent ratio in there. This one has another one. What would be another equivalent ratio that's in that circle? Joy? 18 to 6. If I multiply 3 by 6, I get 18. Multiply 1 by 6, I get the 6. So, some of these given ratios have one equivalent in the circle, some have 2. One of them even has 3. 2 of them have 3. No, one has 3. So find all the equivalent ratios in the circle and write them underneath the given ratio. So you have to really look at it. Are they equivalent? You could multiply up, you could divide down. So something like 30 to 10 has big numbers. You might need to start dividing those down. Sometimes you have to divide down to the simplest ratio and then multiply up from that simplest ratio. So if we look at that 30 to 10, we divide 10 out of both sides and all of a sudden it's 3 to 1. Do we have equivalent ratios that go with that 3 to 1? So sometimes you have to do multiple steps to find those equivalent ratios. Then on the bottom, we have 2 questions. First one is the ratio of girls to boys in a class is 3 to 2. So your ratio has to be girls to boys, 3 to 2. There are 15 girls. How many boys are in the class? And then how many total students are in the class? Do you think my first step would be to solve that question? Think about what we did yesterday with our ratios. What would be my first step? What was the first step yesterday? Shantrea?
Write down girls and boys.
Yeah, first step was to label it. Girls to boys. What's my next step? Rhoda?
Write the numbers, so 3 girls and 2.
Yeah, write my ratio, 3 to 2. Now what am I gonna do? Michael?
And you're gonna add the 15 girls to the boys on the bottom.
I've got 15 girls. I'm gonna put that under the girls. Now I have 2 questions. First one is how many boys are in the class? How can I find that, Jack?
You can find like that 5 times 3 is 15.
Yeah, I know to go from 3 to 15, I had to multiply by 5. Now what do I do?
Multiply the other side by 5.
What I do to one side, I have to do to the other. What's 2 times 5? 10. So I know there are 10 boys. Now I have to answer my second question. How many total students are in the class? How can I find that? Matt?
10 plus 15.
I know there's 15 girls and 10 boys. I can add them together. 15 plus 10 equals 25 students. Make sure you answer all the questions. Make sure you are labeling correctly and putting your numbers under the correct label. Okay? Super important. That is the biggest mistake that friends make, is they accidentally flip something. Careful that you're lining it up exactly how it was given to you in the problem. Any questions on today's math? All right, so when we are finished with our homework, we know Khan Academy is due tonight. Make sure you have all your Khan Academy assignments done. Make sure you have any that were due last week, those past due done. If you complete past due assignments, send me an email, give me a note telling me to go check those so you can get your credit back for them. We've got packet number 4. That was just passed out yesterday. You can work on packet 4. That's not due until the 25th. Do the pages that you know how to do. Yes, when I printed it off the same 5-card challenge that was in packet number 3. Try to see how many points you can get. Some of us remember those equations we did in packet 3. Some of us do not. Some of us made some mistakes on those equations. We said 6 minus 7 equal 1. Does 6 minus 7 equal 1? What does it equal, Moses? -1. So be careful. Order of operations matters. Negatives matter. Okay? Yeah, I did 6 minus 7 on purpose. That was my little 6, 7 I slid in there. A couple of you noticed. So the math packets. Khan Academy first, math packets. Remember, if you have practice work you need to get done, retakes are tomorrow. I'm gonna be checking in with people on what retakes they need to do. Get your practice work done. Tomorrow is that retake day in class. Next week, Monday, I have a workshop for social studies because they're changing our books for next year. So I'm gonna go to a workshop about those changes. So next week, Monday, will be one of our headphone watching on YouTube days. So I will have the lesson on my YouTube channel on Monday, so you can watch it with Mrs. Sawicki. And just like we did a couple weeks ago when she was in, it'll be the same setup. Okay, so just know Monday you need your headphones so you can watch that YouTube channel. Any questions for me? All right, if you are watching at home, I hope you are well. I hope to see you soon. Have a wonderful day, and don't forget to like and subscribe.